Joe Phillips here with Focus Real Estate, Central Park Scoop, and I'm here today with Peyton Fullerton from the Mortgage Project. Peyton is one of our go-to lenders that we work with a lot, and today we're at one of our new build homes that we just helped a client purchase, and we're going to talk a little bit in this video about 3 things that we think buyers should know related to new builds. There's not too many new builds left in Central Park, but there are still some, and then we're helping clients kind of all over the Denver metro area with new builds. It's definitely something we focus on a lot. So it was something I wanted to chat with you about. So 3 things. Okay, the first one I wanted to chat about was lender incentives. So a lot of times when you go into a builder, they're going to say, oh, you got to work with Chris, he's going to give you the best incentive, for using him on the loan rather than going to an outside lender. Give us your thoughts on those. Should they check with other outside lenders? Can you compete on those deals? Tell us about how that works.
Sure. So I think just like with a resale purchase that you should always shop around and compare lenders. It is not out of the question that the lender that you've been working with could actually match the incentives. And so it's certainly worth double checking. A lot of times incentives can be built into the price and you just want to make sure that that's not the case. But sometimes they really are worthwhile. So it's just due diligence to check and make sure. And
yep. That makes sense. And when you say it's built into the price, like it could basically be built into the interest rate that they're offering. So they may give you $5,000, and that sounds really great towards closing costs, but they went above the market interest rate to make up for that money. And by checking with you, you can give them a market rate quote, and then you'll see is that really a $5,000 incentive or not?
Yes, or they'll charge a lot of discount points to get to that rate, which additional closing costs that we would be able to offset just as easily.
Apples to apples. If you have a good lender, and I've seen Peyton do this, I've seen other lenders that I work with and trust do this, they're going to tell you, you know what, that builder deal, I can't beat it in this situation. Or they'll tell you, you know what, I can, and here's how I can beat you. So worth checking out if the builder incentive is legitimately the best deal. So that's item number 1. The second thing I wanted to cover is appraisal risk. So by that I mean on a new build, you contract to buy the home. It's going to be 9 months before the home is complete. And if the appraisal comes in low, the lender is going to use the lower of the contract price or the appraised value to lend against. And so there is some risk there if that comes in low. So we had 2 ideas we wanted to share with you. The first one is not to over-improve your property. So if you're building XYZ builder home and everybody on the street has this level of finishes, you don't want to go 3 levels above that. You don't want to be by far the nicest one. I know it sounds great to have the nicest home in the neighborhood, but from an investment standpoint, an appraisal standpoint, you want to be in line with the level of that builder and the other finishes on the block. If you're not sure what that level is, your agent can help you. The builder can help you kind of understand what most people do. So don't over-improve. Peyton's going to give us kind of the second appraisal tip on a new build.
So I would mostly recommend just to plan ahead. So, make sure that you understand the options and upgrades that you've chosen. Make sure that you have an alternative plan in case it does come in short. But more than anything, as a lender, I always order the appraisal as early as drywall, because at that point, the appraiser can go out there, they can take measurements of the property, they can get a list of options and upgrades from the builder and assign values accordingly. And then they do the report subject to completion, and they'll list what needs to be done before you can close. That way you get the value much earlier, so you have more time to plan, and you can get your file clear to close much earlier so that you're ready to go when that property is complete. And you don't have to put a final, the appraiser will have to go back out there, make sure all those boxes are checked and that everything that they were waiting on is complete. But that is a funding condition, meaning it does not have to go back through underwriting.
Yep.
You could do a final inspection in the morning and close that afternoon. So.
Start early. Get the appraisal done early. If you do run into a snag and it does come in low, you can move finances around. You can game plan with your lender. You can figure it out. I really like that tip. Third one is interest rate risk. So again, you're contracting to buy the home here. You're going to close 9 months later. What are interest rates going to do in the meantime? Give us one solution or potential solution to solve that issue.
So we use a lot of extended rate locks. We have a product that allows us to lock for up to 1 year. And there's a deposit required at the time that you lock the rate, but it's refunded in full at closing, just like earnest money. And there's a one-time option to float down the interest rate within 30 days of closing. So you're really protected whether rates go up or down. And there's no additional costs given that the deposit is refunded at closing. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one that keeps people up at night throughout the whole process. So do this and avoid that stress, peace of mind for sure. So thanks for your time, Peyton. That's 3 tips related to new builds that will hopefully help people out. I appreciate it.
Thank you.